Hello students, this is Sane Bibi from KG Soumya College. Today we are going to discuss agriculture chemistry. Our first chapter is soil chemistry and our today's lecture is lecture number 6. So we already have discussed about buffering action of soil. So what is buffering action? The buffering action of soil is very important in agriculture chemistry because plants absorb artificial fertilizers from the soil to change the pH in solutions that exactly extract from the soil in an unfavorable direction. So an imbalance in the buffering action of soil is detrimental to useful microorganisms which are present in that soil. That's why that buffering action is very important for soil chemistry. So what are importance of buffering action in agriculture chemistry? Here we can see it regulates the activities of soil influenced by the soil reaction. Second point, the buffering action keeps the availability of plant nutrients and at its optimum. That's why it is important. And the buffering action stabilizes the pH of soil. So here this is importance of buffer action in agriculture. So next point is ion exchange. What is ion exchange? The most of the activity of soil resides in the colloidal complexes, which is formed by the particles of clay and humus. So complex colloidal has a tendency to exchange ions when it comes in contact with an electrolyte. In this case, the electrolyte is nothing but the soil solution. Soil solution containing different types of salts acts as an electrolyte. Both cations and anions take part in this exchange. It helps in retention and liberation of plant nutrients such as calcium, magnesium, potassium and phosphorus, etc. It controls soil structure and crumb formation by providing colloidal clay with the right type of absorbed cations. So these are some points about ion exchange. So buffering system is very important. A buffer system has the property of resisting pH changes. It resists change in pH despite addition of acids or bases. A buffer is a mixture of an acid that does not ionize completely in water and its corresponding base, for example carbonic acid and sodium bicarbonate. So we can see cation exchange. What is cation exchange? When an ordinary soil is brought in contact with an electrolyte solution like KCl, in this case soil solution acts as an electrolyte. A part of potassium is absorbed by the soil and an equivalent quantity of cations absorbed by soil colloids is liberated in the solution. It is cation exchange. During the reaction, equivalent quantities of cations are exchanged and the reaction is localized at the surface of the colloidal particles or at the top of the soil or at the surface of the soil because of the colloidal particles. So there is exchange of cations takes place. Here we can see in this figure there is cation exchange of cations like aluminium, potassium, magnesium takes place between soil particles and soil solution. That soil solution acts like a electrolyte. Cation exchange, the interchange between a cation in a solution and another cation on a soil surface. Cation exchange capacity, that is CEC, is the total sum of exchangeable cations that a soil can absorb. This process is known as cation exchange or base exchange, and the cations are called exchangeable or replaceable cations or bases. These cations are there is exchange of cations takes place between soil particles or colloidal particles and electrolyte, means soil solution which is act as a electrolyte, and this is cation exchange process or base exchange process, and this is reversible reaction. So here we can see exchange of cations. Here it is clay particles having calcium cations which are surrounded by the clay particles. Here KCl solution which is in soil solution, that KCl acts as an electrolyte. Here K plus cations are exchanged with calcium cations. So exchange of cations takes place in presence of soil solution which is acts as an electrolyte. Here we can see double layered cation. In our next slide we will discuss what is that, or the mechanism of cation exchange. The cation exchange capacity, that is CEC. What is cation exchange capacity? Cation exchange capacity of a rock or soil represents the capacity of colloidal complex to exchange its cations with the cations of electrolyte solution or the surrounding liquid. It is also represent the total cation absorbing capacity of soil. So cation exchange capacity CC is the total capacity of a soil to hold exchangeable cations. It is total capacity of a soil to hold exchangeable cations. It influences the soil's ability to hold on to essential nutrients and provides a buffer against soil acidification. Soils with a higher clay fraction tend to have a higher CEC, means when soil contains higher clay fraction or that soil is clay soil or clay soil. So CEC means cation exchange capacity of that soil is high, and when that soil is organic soil or peat is there, or that soil is organic or organic material or matter is there in that soil, then that type of soil is also having high cation exchange capacity. So our next point is base saturation. Base saturation is the total exchangeable bases like calcium, magnesium, potassium and sodium expressed as a percentage of the total cation absorbing or cation exchange capacity of a soil, and is given by this example or this expression, that is V is equal to 100 into S divided by T, where V is equal to percentage of base saturation, S is equal to total exchangeable bases, and T is equal to CC. CC means what? CC is cation exchange capacity. So here it is V is equal to 100 into S divided by T. This is base saturation. The difference between CC and total exchangeable bases, that is TS. CC is cation exchange capacity and TS is total exchangeable bases or saturation, base saturation. TS gives the extent of unsaturation of the amount of exchangeable H2 present in the soil. The replacing power of monovalent cations increases as lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium. Now we can see lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. It is atomic number increases, increasing order of atomic number, having more replacing power of monovalent cations. And for divalent cations, magnesium is less capacity as compared to calcium, because calcium having more atomic number of calcium is more than that magnesium. So increasing order of atomic number, it shows more replacing power of monovalent cations. So barium having more replacing power of monovalent cations. So here are some cations having replacing power. In case of mixture of monovalent and divalent cations, replacing power is sodium having less replacing power as compared to potassium, that potassium having less replacing power as compared to ammonium ion cation, that ammonium cation having less replacing power as compared to magnesium, as compared to calcium, and last one is H. The fertility of soil is related to the nature and proportion of exchangeable cations. It related to the nature of that soil and proportion of exchangeable cations. So here we can see the chart which shows CEC means cation exchange capacity of different types of soils. So first one is types of soils or clay types. There are clay types of soils like kaolinite, illite and morillonite. So this shows cation exchange capacity 3 to 15, 15 to 40 and 80 to 100. So 80 to 100 in clay type of soils, Mont morillonite having maximum cation exchange capacity, that is 80 to 100. And next type of soil structure is sand, fine sandy loam, clay loam and clay. We already have discussed that clay soil having maximum cation exchange capacity. So in this chart we can see clay soil having more than 30 cation exchange capacity, that is maximum, as compared to sandy soil, loamy soil or fine sandy loam soil. So that type of soil having 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 5 to 15 or 15 to 30 cation exchange capacity, but that clay soil having more than 30 cation exchange capacity. And organic matter, that soil having organic matter or organic material rich soil also having maximum cation exchange capacity or more cation exchange capacity. That's why we can see here 200 to 400 cation exchange capacity, which is shown by that organic matter or the soil which contains organic material, which shows 200 to 400 cation exchange capacity, or the maximum cation exchange capacity of that soil shows organic matter, that soil contains organic material or clay soil. So in this next slide we can see cation exchange capacity. That cation exchange capacity is the total amount of cations that a soil can retain. So it can hold cations. So its capacity of that soil to hold or to retain its cations is cation exchange capacity of that soil. The higher the soil CEC, means the higher the soil cation exchange capacity, the greater ability it has to store plant nutrients. So it stores plant nutrients or cations for proper plant growth. So soil CEC increases as the amount of clay increases, means if clay particles are there, the cation exchange capacity of that soil is more. The amount of organic material or peat soil is there, so cation exchange capacity is also more, and the soil pH increases. So these are some points which shows cation exchange capacity of the soil. So next point is anion exchange. Similar to cation exchange, there is anion exchange takes place in the soil. It is similar to cation exchange. The silicate clay minerals, the sexy oxide clays as well as the organic colloidal material possesses the power of absorbing and exchanging anions from solutions. Anions such as SO4 carbonates and HCO3 can lower cation absorption in an exchange reaction by forming complex ions or ion pairs. The exchange is brought about mainly by the replacement of OH ions on the clay mineral, and the reaction is similar to cation exchange. So OH clay plus H2PO4 which is available, and it gives H2PO4 clay. That type of clay is not available when it reacts to OH clay. H2PO4 when reacts to OH clay, that H2PO4 clay is not it is unavailable clay plus OH. So negatively charged nutrients of phosphate retention in soil. Here we can see the chart of negatively charged nutrients and phosphate retention in the soil. That formation of a new solid material, that is phosphate plus aluminium, we will get aluminium phosphate solid. So here we can see cation exchange. So phosphate plus anion exchange, phosphate plus aluminium, we will get aluminium phosphate solids, and anion exchange. Here we can see anion exchange or phosphate which is exchangeable. The absorption of phosphate ions by clay particles from soil solution reduces its availability to plant. That absorption of phosphate ions reduces soil's availability by clay particles from soil solution reduces its ability to plants. This is known as phosphate fixation. To reduce the uh, availability of plant to reduce the availability of phosphate to the plant is known as phosphate fixation. It is also reversible reaction. Phosphate reacts with it to form insoluble hydroxyphosphates of iron and aluminium, and that's why it is unavailable for plants, and that's unavailable phosphate, and the availability of phosphate is reduced, and this is known as phosphate fixation. Here we can see aluminium cation, manganese cation, ferrous cation and calcium cation, different types of cations, and phosphorus reaction or phosphate anion reacts with that particular cations, like phosphate anion plus aluminium cation, it gives aluminium phosphate solid. Phosphate anion plus manganese cation gives manganese phosphate solid. So here we can see in this chart. Okay, so let's summarize briefly what we have discussed or what we have looked at. So our points are, first one is cation exchange capacity, second one is anion exchange capacity, then buffering of soil, buffering system. So make sure you haven't forgotten anything. Next week we will move to our next chapter or our next topic. That's all for today, and we will have to stop here. Thank you.